With your mom for a picnic.
Okay,
And,
yeah, she said that too.
tree
She said,
lighting.
I talked to I enjoyed
She's
your
smart.
mom's. Oh, she's,
And I think she really got it.
you guys
I
ready?
even,
Yes.
even before I knew her, I knew she got a raw deal back.
All right, we'll have, we'll go ahead and start.
No idea.
Everybody stand. Are we gonna do the roll call first?
Roll call, yeah.
Roll call.
we could just-
Okay.
We can do the
For
standing.
the roll call.
Okay.
Mayor Bridget Keating,
Present.
Vice Mayor Christy Mosbach,
Here.
President Pro Tem Taylor Materio,
Here?
Councilmember Greg Freebold, and this
Here.
is the public hearing for the town council sitting in as a local planning agency.
Yes, ma'am. We'll have a moment of silence for longtime resident Robin Eason, who passed on 11/27/25 at 75 years old. If we can keep her and her family in our thoughts and prayers. And absence of pastor, we're going to go right into the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you like to lead?
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is where we don't do,
Yeah, you could just send it over.
go right into discussion of the approval of the ordinance.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. We have two agendas for you tonight. This is the council serving, as Mary said, the local planning agency. We can start off, Charlie, with reading the title, please.
Sure. Ordinance 2025-03. An ordinance of the Town Council of the Town of Lake Clark Shores, Florida, amending Article 7 Supplemental District Regulations of Chapter 125 Zoning of the Town's Code of Ordinances by creating and adopting a new Division 16 Certified Recovery Residences to establish procedures for review and approval of certified recovery residences and a process for requesting reasonable accommodation from local land use regulations as mandated by Florida statute, providing for inclusion in the Code of Ordinances, providing for severability, providing an effective date, and for other purposes.
Thank you. Again, tonight, we have two agendas, and local planning agencies are recommending boards, and where they deal with development agreements, they deal with zoning matters, which this is, annexations. Another example would be a code plan amendment. So this is the same ordinance that you already passed on the first reading last month, and you'll have it on the next agenda on second reading. And I'll just go over it at this meeting and see if you have any questions. As you know, the state has mandated that we deal with sober homes, or they call them recovery residents, certified recovery residences, the same way. So they want to have a review process and a process to have a reasonable accommodations. And the big thing about reasonable accommodations is if you ask for reasonable accommodations, if you don't decide on that within 60 days, the applicant is already accepted, or the application is already accepted. So they want you to get through it quickly. So nothing new from last month. So we're recommending to pass this because the state is asking us, all the cities and all the counties, to pass this.
And one other item, at our last meeting, a question came up of how many residences can, non-related people can live in a residence. And it's a little unclear because there are so many different types of group homes, but the particular statute dealing with the certified recovery residences says if there are 6 or fewer unrelated, it constitutes a single family and doesn't need their licensing. If it's 7 to 14, it has to be licensed. So there can be as many as 14 in the home under the statute for certified recovery residences.
So if it's less than 7, then it can.
If it's 6 or fewer, by definition under this statute, the state considers it single family. And that did not used to be the case in Florida. The cities used to be able to regulate and say no more than 3 unrelated people living together in a residence, but not anymore.
Any other questions from the council? We have a recommendation.
Is there any audience comments?
Yeah, we got to get
Any-
audience comments.
Any comments, audience? Okay. No council comments?
Nope.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion for local planning agency to recommend that the town council approve ordinance 2025-03.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So approved.
Thank you.
Okay. I guess that's adjournment of this meeting.
Off to agenda number 2.
The agenda.
Yes.
Okay, you ready, Mary?
Mayor Bridget Keating,
Present?
Vice Mayor Christy Mosbach,
Here.
President Pro Tem Taylor Materio,
Here.
Councilmember Gregory Freebold.
Here.
Okay. Any public comments? Tim? Yeah,
Yes.
we are in the regular meeting now.
Tim Daughtry, 1410 Keller Road. Couple quick items. I brought this up before, Forest Hill Boulevard, the tree at the intersection of Pine Tree and Forest Hill Boulevard on the west side of that intersection. Continue to be a problem and continue to be a potential hazard for people turning into our community, turning into Pine Tree. I go there all the time. I go through that intersection all the time. It's dangerous, it's dangerous, it's dangerous. I don't know what else to say. The trees need to be gone or significantly cut back. Nothing's been done. I've mentioned it before. I continue to mention it, and I will continue to mention it. I think it's a risk for all of us if we don't do anything about it. In addition to that, I've mentioned before, the speed of people on Forest Hill, especially coming eastbound, especially in the lane that is associated with turning south onto 95, continues to be a problem. Again, turning into that intersection, it continues to be an issue, continues to be an issue, continues to be an issue. I do not see speed enforcement out there on Forest Hill specifically also for that individual item. And I'll mention it again and again and again. It's very risky there, that intersection, and we've just reopened the bridge, and it's a problem. It's a real problem. Okay, and something needs to be done. And I mention it and mention it and mention it.
You
nothing's done.
specifically talking about Forest Hill or Pine Tree?
Forest Hill and Pine Tree intersection. That's what I'm talking about.
The speeding on Forest Hill?
The
Okay.
speeding on Forest Hill, specifically the speeding in the eastbound lane, specifically the one that really gets to be a problem is the people heading down south on 95. They get up a high rate of speed. They don't slow down, and it's a problem. It's been a problem for years. It continues to be a problem. It continues to be a problem. I've seen some pretty devastating accidents because of it. Okay, we need speed enforcement there. We need speed enforcement there. It's that simple. The park. Thank you for the lights on the tree, on the plaque for the tree and the plaque for the permanent rock that signifies the tackets. And thank you for doing that. Here's the thing that I did notice when I went out and looked at that to see what was done. The lighting up there for all of the holiday lighting, there's no GFI protection. Okay, and I've mentioned that before. It needed to be done. It needed to be done. It needed to be done. That is a basic safety issue that needs to be take place. I'm an electrician. Okay, it's simple. It's basic. It's been a code for many, many, many moons, and it's there for a very good reason. Okay,
And I know originally why it was taken off the tree last year because of the problems we were having with the tree. But I mentioned in the meetings that when we got the new harness for the tree, that we needed to provide GFI protection. Okay, wasn't done, isn't done at the present time. And I checked some of the other lights. I didn't check all of them, but I checked some of them. And a lot of them do not have GFI protection. That's a basic safety feature. Okay, it's a public park. It needs to have GFI protection. It's really simple. It's an NEC code. We've been following that for many, many, many years. I mean, wow, that's got to be at least 45 years. Okay, there's no reason why we can't comply with that code. Water billing continues to be an issue. Our utility bills, our water utility bills, they come late and we got to turn them over really, really, really quick. And continues to be a problem. The last month bill shows up on a Wednesday. I have to have it paid by Sunday. Okay, it shows up Wednesday afternoon mailing, not enough time to pay it. Okay, and the fee for being late for the payment is significant. Okay, and it's gone on and on and on this year. We need to do something about it. We got to get better with our water utility billing. And then I see on the agenda tonight that you're discussing permanent removal of the Keller Road, not Keller Drive, Keller Road gates. Okay, I think that's premature. Bless you. I think we've just recently got the bridge open, so we don't know the traffic issues we're going to have on Keller Road. We've had problems in the past, and I think it would be premature to permanently remove those gates. Also, I think it's premature to even discuss taking them permanently down without discussing the residents on that, specifically discussing this with the residents on that road. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim.
Motion to approve agenda.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to approve consent.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Unfinished business,
Yeah, number 8 again. No,
second final reading.
yes. So, would you,
You want me to
Yeah.
read it again?
yeah, please.
This is the second reading of the ordinance for certified recovery residences, ordinance 2025-03, an ordinance of the Town Council of the Town of Lake Clark Shores, Florida, amending Article 7 Supplemental District Regulations of Chapter 125 zoning of the Town Code of Ordinances by creating and adopting a new Division 16 certified recovery residences to establish procedures for review and approval of certified recovery residences and a process for requesting reasonable accommodations from local land use regulations as mandated by Florida statute, providing for inclusion in the Code of Ordinances, providing for severability, providing for an effective date, and for other purposes.
Thank you. As you can see by the last discussion at the last agenda, the town attorney and staff has been discussing this new law and this new mandate. And obviously, I'm discussing this with the managers throughout the Palm Beach County. So we will keep you informed of any changes on any processes in the future, but we recommend approval. No changes since last meeting.
Any public comments?
And by adopting this ordinance tonight, you are in compliance with the state legislation that was adopted beginning of this year by our state legislature, which mandated that we provide for the reasonable accommodation.
Do we have any email comments? Council comments? Any,
I'll make a motion to approve the second and final reading of the ordinance 2025-03.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
So approved.
Thank you.
Do you wanna? You need-
Keller Gate?
Yep.
Okay, just give you a little history on Keller Drive again, the gates. And back in October of 23, we had a traffic calming study by Simmons and White, traffic engineers. And then we also asked them to look at the gates, and their opinion was by removing those gates, there would be no real difference in traffic volume. And they recommended removing the gates. Back in April of 24, the town council voted unanimously to remove the gates. And for a period of time, we postponed that period of time, obviously because of the bridge. And in July, after a comment of 2024, we had the traffic engineer come out there again and to review it without the gates. And he saw no issue about removing it, no speed issues or no safety issues at that time. So we're recommending that we permanently remove the gates at this time.
Any discussion?
Yes, just quickly, Joe. Talk to me about, or even Charlie, because I was reading in the backup information about how we have a problem collecting on damages. Is that a problem? Or I remember with Chief Smith, it wasn't always that easy finding the people or getting the pay. So talk to us about that.
Because they're not property owners in the town, it's more difficult. It requires us, if they don't voluntarily pay, it requires us going to
Civil court.
to county court to collect.
Which is
And-
even
and-
harder.
And the problem with that is the cost of doing that,
Sure.
it many times exceeds the cost of the damages.
Yes, it's totally unfair. If they're residents, we can bring them to the code board. But if they're not residents, we have to go through the court system.
How accurate, Joe, do we know that this inbound and this traffic that we see here, this number? Do we know how, is that a good number or?
That was a number taken back in April of 24, and that was, obviously numbers changed, so we haven't updated it.
So it could be less.
Yeah, it's very insignificant, as these are words that the engineer uses, not mine.
It's probably going to even continue to be less, especially since they're
Right.
getting ready to go to the permit phase for Florida Mango.
Yes.
Okay, I think that's all I had.
Any other council comments?
It doesn't hinder our ability to read tags, right?
No,
This isn't, okay.
not at all.
So Chief, this would be your recommendation as well?
All right, good evening. Just to clarify your question, are you asking it would be my recommendation to permanently remove them?
Yes.
I don't know if they, in my experience, which again is only, the last year, I haven't seen a significant benefit to traffic volume or to speeds on that roadway that would say it provides any public good.
And we do have a reader there, a camera.
That's correct.
In and out.
We do, yes.
Good.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion? Sure.
Tim Daughtry, 1410 Keller Road. Staff recommends to remove them permanently. The chief has indicated he doesn't see any benefit to not removing them. I disagree. Okay. I have a construction vehicle. I must back into my driveway. And for me, with the people coming westbound across the bridge with no traffic control, it presents a danger to me backing into my driveway with the people coming across the bridge with no way to slow them down. Okay. They don't slow down. Okay. It's a continuing problem. Okay. It's a safety issue. Very simply. Okay. And it's a problem. Okay. So there is a benefit to having gates there. Okay. Like I said, permanently removing them without addressing this with the people that live on that road. Okay. Is inappropriate, I think. Okay. you need to discuss it with us. Those of us who live there and deal with the traffic coming in and out of Lake Clark across that bridge, okay? We're the ones who deal with it, us and the people on South Lake, okay? We're the ones who deal with it. And so just asking you to not permanently remove it, let's just look at it. And at some point in time, if it works out that it might be okay, you know, I'm fine with if everybody else agrees with it, but I think we need to discuss it with the residents there. Okay. Thank you.
There's not a stop sign at the crossing.
No, but there is a
There is.
There's
speed
a
bump.
speed hump. There's
but
no
the-
stop sign.
There's no stop sign. There's no stop sign coming across the bridge. Okay, at one point in time, they had to stop because of the gates.
Right. You just said no traffic coming. So I was trying to remember what was there, and there is a speed hump there, no stop sign, and I just wanted.
There's
to
a
be sure.
speed hump as you come right
Right.
there,
It's
right
been
up
open for a year and a half,
the gate off.
To cross, yeah.
Yeah, but they blast across.
since April of 24.
Joe, do you want to comment on engaging with the residents?
Yeah, we've taken a lot of comments. Thank you for that opportunity. We've been taking a lot of comments. Again, the bridge, the gates have been removed since April, I believe, of 24. So we've taken a lot of comments, mostly positive. Obviously, some people agree with Tim that they should be retained, but the overwhelming majority is to remove them permanently.
Okay, may I have another comment, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you. This is directly from the traffic calming study. Address the gates. It concluded that it is unlikely the gates are making a substantial difference in the volume of cut-through traffic. It suggested the town could elect to remove the gates if desired, and it likely would not result in a significant traffic increase. So the traffic's going to be the same.
Correct.
Are they slowing down is going to be the question. The study also mentioned the town could add a new speed table at the location to provide additional deterrence, which leads to my next question. Charlie, if we permanently remove this, do we have status to where we could either A, rescind that and put it back, or B, add a stop sign there if we find that the traffic is not compliant? I mean, right now, if there's a speed bump and there's no stop sign, they're not required to stop. I mean, they still need to slow down or tear up their car, but
Can I answer that before Charlie?
yes,
okay.
whoever would
Sure,
like that.
that exact question came up, and that's why we had him out, the traffic engineer, again in July. And we asked him that question. Do we need a speed hump? Is just, and he said, no, he saw that no safety issues, no speeding issues, nothing.
Now, typically, we follow the recommendation of the traffic engineer.
Well, yes,
But
absolutely.
Do you have the ability
Yes.
to install a gate? The answer is yes, as long as we go through the proper procedure of notice. And you always have that ability. Typically, you follow the recommendation of the traffic engineer, but you have the ability to go against his advice and put in the gate again in the future if you determine that it is necessary.
Good.
The positive comments that you've received from residents, is it related to them not having to stop and slow down and
Yes, to be nice, because they didn't like the gates. They would say,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
they
the
used
comments
adjectives
I've
about,
received too, but,
yes,
um,
yeah,
Their adjectives weren't so nice.
correct. Very expressive. They're very happy that they're gone.
So how would the council like to proceed?
Well, I'm going to make a motion, but I'm going to also make a comment before that because this will be a hot topic. And Tim, I do understand I drive that way frequently and I come that way. So however, there are a lot of factors at play here, and we are being recommended by a professional that we paid for a study to do. So I feel like now that we've been given legal advice that if it's not working out properly, we can go back and readdress it, and then we'd have some teeth. So I'm going to make a motion that we authorize the permanent removal of the Keller gates.
I will second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And we'll definitely keep that on the radar. discussion electronic agendas.
Thank you. Just to give you a little history again, back in September, you asked us to put this on the in the agendas for the next months to discuss. We took a little survey of other cities. It looks like most cities are electronic or have a hybrid like we do, where we send out it electronically and also provide it in paper. We also looked at the costs of laptops or tablets where they're insignificant, like $400 or $500 for each. So it's really up to you all to decide if you and give us guidance if you want to leave it the way it is as a hybrid. And I've put 3 options there with staff, and the other 2 would be purchase the laptops or the tablets and have them ready for you when you get here and have them loaded up, or you can take them home and then bring them here before the meeting. There's obviously more options, but those are the 3 options we came up with.
So if I can interject
Of course.
or make the first comment. Being that we're most likely going to have a new council member in the near future, I personally have decided it's no longer of great importance to me if we switch, that if the hybrid system's working for everybody, that works for me just fine. And maybe we should hold this discussion until we are with our new person at some point in the future.
Do we need to make that a motion? And
Do we need
Move
to
on.
keep kicking this can down the road?
no, I agree with her.
Sorry, I never
No,
thought
I agree with her. I agree.
So-
We get it electronically. We have it up here. It's nice for keeping notes, and so I agree. Do we need that to be a motion, Charlie?
It should be so that we have
Yeah.
specific direction.
Okay.
And if it's a motion to table, then there's no discussion. But
Right.
if it's a motion to do something other than table, then you can have discussion on the motion.
Then I would like to make a motion to maintain our current structure of the hybrid receipt of information. However, we're getting our packets and our emails.
I will second that motion.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
So moved.
Okay, vacation leave. Through a resident's public records request, it was revealed to staff that we have not been following a policy on our personnel policy, which is basically back in 2008, which is a long time ago, 18 years ago, we added a section in there where if you have more than 240 hours on your anniversary date, you reset your vacation time to 240. So if you have over that, you lose it. You don't get paid for it, you just lose it. So obviously, when I saw this policy not being followed, I asked staff what's going on, and they, because there was 3 or 4 people that were not in compliance, and I've listed those hours there. And they basically said they didn't really understand the policy, or they thought they were grandfathered in because these are all long-term employees. This is the only way you're going to most likely collect that amount of hours. So these are all employees that have been here for like 20 or more years. So they just thought they were grandfathered in. So there was many reasons why they didn't follow the policy. So obviously I'm here to fix it. We want to make sure we're in compliance. So we came up with 3 options, and these options you can combine them. You can do whatever, you can do what, but we tried to make them as simple as possible because it is a complicated issue. The first option A would be to increase the balance from 240 to 360. It's a good compromise. Notify all employees, and obviously the 4 employees that are non-compliance, and to give them a 24-month grace period to become into compliance with the new number. The second would be to keep the 240 and obviously give the employees, again, the 24 months of grace period. And again, this changes only the balance. This does not change the payout amount of 240 hours. That's the max you can be paid when you separate service from the town. That we're not recommending change. And then the third option is to grandfather those employees that were hired before 2008 to a higher number. We said 600, but that number could be anything. And obviously the other employees would have to abide by the policy. So we put some pros and cons to each option. So we're here to discuss that and to get some direction from the council.
Joe, what do you mean on option A about higher long-term liability?
It because you actually can look at a person who retires and they have 600 hours. They could say, oh, the last year they're here, they could say, I'm just taking off the next 3 months and we're not going to get service for those 3 months.
Mhm.
So that's liabilities.
Okay.
Do we have any
How do all you all over there feel about taking off the next 6 months?
Just 2 of them.
How do
Just 2 of them would affect.
Do we have any comments, recommendations?
Yeah, may I add something, Mayor?
Sure.
With, obviously, we took some time and we surveyed other communities, and I forgot to mention that, and it looked like our 240 was on the low side. So, and obviously other cities do other things, and it's hard to get an average because other cities do pay out extra hours, and I'm not recommending any of that. It's just, it would be nice to, a good compromise would be to bring up the hours and give employees the 24 months.
Well, we certainly don't want anybody losing something that they've accrued because they've worked hard for that.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I want to make a motion that the town council adopt option A and direct staff to amend the personal manual accordingly.
I will second that motion.
Any other comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right,
Thank you.
motion passes.
All right. See all you all in March. Not you, chief. You haven't been here long enough.
Okay, now we're status reports. Guess, Charlie, you want to go first?
I'll be happy to. My report is included in your packet. I'll be happy to answer any questions regarding the report, but I do want to address one item. This is the property at 7011 Hayden Road. That's the now owned, or was owned by Mr. Barbie. We signed an agreement effective the 9th day of June of this year. And in the agreement, it said that they have 6 months from the date of the agreement to obtain a building permit to either demolish or renovate the property. The 6th month is today, and they have applied for a permit. My understanding, although I have not seen the permit, is that it is to demolish the interior of the property, keep the exterior walls and the slab, and then to rebuild the property. Their attorney, in light of the fact that they have applied but have not obtained it yet, and there are still some issues, I don't believe they've paid the permit fee yet, has requested a 2-week extension. And I think that a 2-week extension at this point would be a good thing for the town to give them so that they can begin this process, get the permit, and move forward with bringing the property into compliance with a new building on that property, even if they keep the exterior walls and slab.
Is that a county permit or Lake Clark?
No, it's a
Lake
Lake
Clark
Clark Shores.
Yeah,
When did they apply?
Was it yesterday or today? Today.
Oh, they applied
Oh.
on the deadline.
so they waited till the 11th hour, huh? How sweet of them. I guess they don't know how efficient a building department here can be.
And also our code enforcement.
Yes, sir.
Because he has, he's ready to go with several violations.
Yeah.
I recall it wasn't that many months ago that we dealt with the issue of applying for a permit or obtaining a permit, and we
It was like our last-
tightened up our language on that.
last meeting.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
So do you need a motion?
We need a motion because of the agreement, yes.
I'll make a motion that we grant a 2-week extension.
Do you have a second?
I'll second it, but I think we got to be pretty tight on that.
Well, this will be it.
That's it, yeah.
I mean, they've applied, correct?
How long does it take from application to obtaining it?
You never know if there's comments or, that.
I think you just seconded.
It just depends on
I don't think.
the application itself, and
You never,
I can tell you, some cities take months to issue a permit.
I know, it's got to go through the building
But
official.
Lake Clark Shores is much more efficient.
That's not
than
us,
most,
but we don't know.
But we don't know.
We don't know what the application is.
Do we need additional language in that motion then to, like, if it's not occurring in that 2-week period, or teach us, Charlie?
Their attorney seems to think that they can have everything in order for the town. 2 weeks is a short period of time.
Yeah,
I
especially
know-
during the holidays.
I know my church applied to seal coat its parking lot in West Palm Beach, and we're 20 weeks out and still don't have a permit.
So what's our remedy if they still don't have it in a 2-week period?
Since we don't have a meeting.
Pay Charlie more money.
At this point, because they appear to be willing to fix the property, I can tell you, I am not opposed to litigation, but litigation is expensive and it will obtain the same result and it will not make it happen any faster
Right.
because litigation is slow.
So then the language on the original motion is okay?
I believe it is. We may have to revisit it based on whether or not the application is sufficient or not.
Right.
But at this point, I think let's give them the 2 weeks. Let's see if they can get everything in compliance. If the application is complete and the town deems it complete but needs a little extra time in issuing it, I don't see that as a major problem.
I'm surprised that they're keeping the exterior walls. From what I've seen driving past that house, are they
Well, they are concrete. block.
salvageable?
Yeah.
Oh, they did, okay,
It's block.
okay.
It's concrete block.
We do have a second on that motion already. Mayor Keating,
Yes,
Christie,
Call the question.
Seconded the motion.
yes. Are we ready to vote?
Call the
They
question.
were asking, I was letting them continue the dialogue. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. And Chief Ron, you want to go next?
All right, good evening, everybody. Well, first of all, great event that occurred this last weekend. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
We enjoyed everything about it. So we appreciate that. We appreciate you keeping us in mind. And it was fun delivering Santa and taking some pictures out there. As far as call volume, we had 34 calls in the town of Lake Clark Shores, 27 medical calls, 5 fire alarms, 1 actual fire, 1 vehicle accident. All turnout times were great, under 47 seconds, and our response times were 7 minutes and 12 seconds. Definitely noticing the difference with glance preemption. It's clearly working for our crews, but there's still some quirks, and we'll get through those. Palm Beach County Fire Rescue this last weekend hosted the NAVRA event. It's the North American Vehicle Machinery Association event, basically extrication, cutting cars, getting people out. Palm Beach County Fire Rescue placed first overall. So that was a big accomplishment. And then our ALS team, which is our CleanCon team, the paramedics go out there and do scenarios. They went to Miami-Dade Fire Rescue, performed in their ALS competition, and scored first overall as well over the 2 days. And that's about it. Happy holidays to everybody. We're happy to be here. And if you need us, you know who to call.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Chief Eaglin, you want to go next?
Absolutely. And good evening again, Mayor and Council. Attached to tonight's agenda is the statistical report for November for the police department. You can see the various calls for service and categories. One thing to note, I would like to recognize our reserve officers, Lestrange and Romstadt. They participated in a food giveaway on behalf of the Lake Clark Shores and Lake Clark Shores Police Department, where they gave out 30 meals, which was enough for about 150 people out in the glades. They transported out there. They met with the families. They provided the food on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and they did a really great job. So I just want to recognize them for their efforts in representing all of us to the communities. So that is my report for the month of November.
Which officers did you say did?
Lestrange and Romstadt, they're reserve officers.
We'll thank them for, and behalf of the town. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. And they've done that several years in a row. So this is nothing new for them.
Especially now with everybody's having even more difficult times, especially during the holidays.
Chief, I have been to a couple Christmas parties around along the Keller Canal, folks who live there, and they have said the jet ski traffic has slowed down. So that's good news.
That is very good news. And we
The
do have
bridge is
the,
open, so that
two officers trained and they're out on the water.
So,
Great to hear. Thank you.
It looks like you had 11 hours on the water in November.
Correct.
Okay, so the guys have finished their training and they're going out on the weekends?
Correct.
Excellent.
I have a question regards to the jet skiers and nighttime operations.
Mm.
What would be the procedure since we don't have Marine Patrol on at night?
Right. So nighttime patrols and responses are difficult. It's not like there's a lot of street lights or whatnot.
Yes.
So we typically do not go out there. If we do receive a call for service, we typically send a vehicle to one of the local bridges or an area where you can monitor the area, try to identify the jet skiers. Typically it's difficult or they've gone to the area, but we do what we can do to at least try to identify them. Sometimes the officers recognize them. There are a lot of typical or normal jet skiers who regularly use our waters. We met them through contacts, over months and months. If it's just someone from out of town who's buzzing through or something like that, a little more difficult. But depending on the severity, if we need to, we can deploy a boat if it warrants that sort of response. But we do everything that we can to at least identify them.
Okay, so then we encourage the residents to call it in if there's an issue on the water, even though it would be determined whether they need to put the boat on the water or they can mitigate it some other way.
Absolutely. Obviously, we encourage the community to call us at any time they see anything suspicious, or if they have any concerns. Typically, I hate to say, but sometimes the residents don't call us, or they'll tell the neighbor the next day, or they'll go on social media, or they'll tell somebody a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks later. Sometimes they show up at a council meeting, which is all fine, and we encourage that, but delaying the identification of the incident, whether it's a code violation or a crime, diminishes the probability of being able to solve or address that issue. So we highly encourage, anytime you see any of those type of situations, call us immediately. You're welcome to call us, me the next day or on Monday. I'll be happy to look into the situation to provide some follow-up. Obviously, they're always welcome to, post on social media or come here or whatnot. I don't want to discourage that, but that shouldn't be the only times they reach out. They need to reach out to us immediately when they see a concern so we can promptly address it as the highest probability being addressed or investigated, and move forward from there.
I mean, I'm not always up, but occasionally I've had them where they're after midnight. They're zooming, you hear them zooming down Lake Clark, and it's well after dark and there are no lights on there because they don't have navigational lights, and that to me is a big safety issue. So I don't know if we want to follow up in the buzz or just encourage residents to call no matter what the hour. Obviously, we don't want to have to call somebody at 2 o'clock in the morning, but if it's a safety issue and we can mitigate it, obviously, like you said, you can't do anything after the fact. I mean, you can take the complaint or take the issue, but you won't be able to follow up to see how to resolve the issue.
Correct. We encourage everybody to call us immediately, and you as well. If you speak with anybody in the community, all staff always encourage us folks to call us immediately. It's never a bother. It's never not important enough. Give us the opportunity to address it as quickly as possible to when it actually occurs.
Thank you. I know that's more than I thought was being done.
I wanted to see if we could address Tim's comments about Forest Hill. Is that your jurisdiction? Like, how does it work? Are there any, I know we've touched on it about potential solutions there, but just wanted to get your thoughts.
You mean the
since it was-
speeding?
Yes, on
Yeah.
Forest Hill, yeah. Because
So-
it's not
so-
just Pine Tree Lanes exit 2. I usually come back and exit through the Westlake exit as well. It's the same problem there
Mhm.
that Pine Tree Lane is experiencing. So it is pretty dangerous, and I don't know what there is to be done about it, but I just would love your insight.
All right, so Forest Hill Boulevard is within the jurisdiction of Lake Clark Shores, running from Florida Mango down to the railroad tracks. And I did have an opportunity to speak with Tim a few weeks back regarding his comments at the last council meeting. Now, Forest Hill Boulevard is a 6-lane divided highway with raised curbs and raised sidewalk. It's clearly an improved street that typically would require or allow for higher speeds, more like 40, 45 miles an hour. But because of the high school that's just on the other side of I-95, that speed is limited at 35 miles an hour. Now it's changing from 45 to 35 right at Florida Mango. So, some people do not necessarily slow down and whatnot. So to Tim's comments, as him and I had discussed, the trees are a little bit overgrown and can hinder your view if you are going westbound, wanting to turn southbound. You have to pay a little bit better attention and clear all the lanes, and it's 6 lanes, so it's a little more complicated than if it's just a 1-lane roadway. On previous council comments or open comments, we did ask our officers to go out and have a visual presence out on Forest Hill Boulevard, specifically on the south side of the road, affecting eastbound traffic. We have been out there. I know the mayor has spoken with an officer and see them out there and appreciate the comments of being out there. 24 hours a day, we try to get out there as much as we can. I've seen officers out there as best as possible, and when appropriate, they do traffic stops, and when appropriate, they do write citations. So we address it as we can, but that's sort of the physical situation, the physical nature of that area, and probably why a lot of speeds are, in excess of the 35-mile-an-hour speed limit sign. We haven't had a lot of crashes on that segment of roadway. In my time I've been here, I believe there was one, and it was a minor crash, or what otherwise my generation used to call a blue form, where you just do a report and the citizens file it with their insurance companies, and it's a report that is only when there are no injuries and a minor amount of cost of damages to the vehicles. But you can always have a really bad crash, and you don't want that. So anytime anybody is crossing a 3-lane roadway, whether you're going from westbound to northbound or eastbound to southbound or whatnot, you need to be careful. Cars are coming, you have 3 lanes to cover, and there's a lot of pressure because of the volume of people behind you and stacking up with lights, and everybody wants to get going really fast in the morning. The volume on work days, specifically in the morning and the evening towards the rush hours, increases a lot, because it is an artery that's right next to I-95, so it feeds a lot of vehicles. So there's a lot of physical situations and volume that affect the traffic and the ability to speed and whatnot. But we have the officers out there, we make a visual presence, and the crash statistics demonstrate that it's not a significant issue.
Thank you. I appreciate you detailing that again for us.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you find there's any seasonal increase in traffic?
Any seasonal what?
Increase in traffic?
In volume?
Yes.
It seems like it's busy all the time, to be quite honest with you. But yes, throughout the county in this area, you tend to see increases in volume at the typical time that you would, hours of the day, days of the week, and then months of the year.
Do we ever look at the landscaping that Tim is referring to?
Yes. If he's talking about the ligustrum trees, we did trim those, and the Green Island ficus, which is the shrubbery, we did trim those back too. I'll look at it again tomorrow, but we did cut those trees. Ligustrum trees are very small multi-trunk trees that are right there, and we trimmed those back, and we trimmed the Green Island ficus that are shrubberies, but we'll look at it again.
Okay. Any other questions, council?
Nope.
Now it's up to I believe it's your report.
Okay. The next meeting is on January 20th, which is the 3rd, not the 2nd Tuesday, because several of us will be at Tallahassee for the first week of session. The next meeting in February will be back to the 2nd Tuesday. Upcoming events, we got menorah lighting right here at the town center at this Sunday at 5. Everybody's welcome. It's a great event. We also have the holiday decorating contest the next day on Monday. We have the senior club on that Wednesday of the 17th. Then we go into February, where we have movie night on the 20th, and then the big event, the barbecue, on the 21st from 1 to 4. We're already having meetings on that and starting to plan that, so everything's going well. As you know, we have the education program on vegetation going. It's going well. Actually, we're seeing compliance. On the charter review process, the town attorney and staff met, and our current plan is to propose a cleanup ordinance, because there's so much to clean up. So we're hoping that the cleanup ordinance does not require a referendum. And so we'll keep you updated, but that's our current plan. And then, because we have so much time, because you can't put this on in November, you have to wait till next March to put this on. So if you do decide on doing something that would require a referendum vote or vote of the residents, that would be next March. So it's a whole year from now. We did apply for another grant. We applied for 2 state grants for the parks. Now we applied for a federal grant. It's called the Lake and Water Conservation Fund, and it's up to $400,000 for Memorial Park. Let's see if anything is on here that I think everything is pretty self-explanatory. I did want to talk about that intersection more if I could, Mayor.
Absolutely.
We also, as you know, we have the signs do not block the box, and I've been talking to FDOT, and we couldn't put this in the report because this just happened. Dana was actually there with Damon, and we talked to the engineers at FDOT, and we found out we cannot put paint the box there on that intersection of Pine Tree and Forest Hill, which we thought we could. We thought the signs would lead to painting the box, and they said, no, that's not the current protocol, is to put the actual paint. But their recommendation was to put more signs. So they're going to put more signs of do not block the box, and they're going to look at signaling, getting it right, and maybe prolonging the Pine Tree exit and hopefully something by the railroad. So they're going to work with the county, and the state are going to work together on seeing if they can make any improvements.
It's not only the exits on 95, it's that the railroad track and the timing. You get the railroad track and then the lights are out of sequence, and then people are in a hurry to get through that light, and then they block the intersection.
That and getting out of Pine Tree.
Right.
So we went over all that with the engineers, and hopefully they'll come up with some improvements.
Hopefully so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any council comments?
My first,
Yes.
Joe, we had a meeting with those guys the beginning of this year, talked
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, that was just the county, because they're in charge of traffic signals. Even though it's a state road, they're in charge of all the traffic signals, and
Yeah.
they're really great. I work with them well, but now the state's involved, so hopefully they can make some.
That ought to make it move really fast.
Yeah. Are you being facetious?
It is true. It blows it out of sequence. It's a pain in the neck.
Yes.
So I really want to watch the gates at Keller. And I'd like, Chief, if we could just maybe get a little bit of attention over there just to see what it's like, because it's going to be one of those things we just need to keep our eye on. I do agree. It's a big thing, but we're working on relationships and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see what happens there. Forest Hill Boulevard they've always gone fast there. I'm one of those, I count to 3, whoever's behind me, and that light's not that long because they do run that red light a lot too. Not so much, it's not as dangerous when there's the rush hour traffic because they're moving slow, but sometimes when they're hauling tail to get to 95 and get wherever they're going, they just go right through it. So it's a cautious driver can avoid a crash. So Joe, maybe have you talked to them about elevating that ligustrum and just lowering the hedge there a little bit for line of sight along there?
Yeah, we
They've
did.
done that?
We have.
I'm usually in a high truck, so it doesn't really.
Yeah, let me know what you think. We've
Yeah.
done it. We've trimmed.
It did? Okay.
We've trimmed the
I'll
guster,
check that out in the morning.
and
I couldn't see through all the rain today. Plus, I didn't leave the house, so.
okay. Well, I'll look at it again.
I'm down low and I can turn just fine.
Yeah, but I'm up and raised up.
Okay. Well, that helps because I was actually getting complaints from lower, so that helps. I'll look at with a higher vehicle.
And then another quick thing, Joe,
Sure.
the GFI. If that's a safety issue, let's
Well,
jump right on
it's-
that, okay?
It's
Yeah,
definitely on.
I
my
know
list.
you will.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there. And the last thing for you, Joe, we're not picking on you, but I agree with Tim. My water bill got there. I think mine came on a Thursday and was due on that Sunday. And I was going out of town the very next morning. And had I not seen it, would you guys turn my water off? No, you. wouldn't.
You, yes. Yeah, I wrote that one down too. I did not. So
Yeah, just look into
I'll
it.
look to it.
Because listen, Joe, seriously, I never paid like I'm paying right now. I just had it on automatic and.
You can go back to automatic, just so you know.
I'm so cheap, I don't want to pay the 2%.
No, it's
whatever
free.
it is.
No, it's
No, it's free. We
Oh, you
finally,
rescinded that? You see, I better pay
we
attention.
finally
because
made a
I'll
deal
fix
with,
that the minute I get home.
it's free.
I have the same
Credit
checkbook
card's
for
not
10
free.
years.
Not the credit card, but the
Debit.
debit card,
No,
direct,
see, I don't do debit cards.
direct, whatever that's called.
I want the,
Right.
I want the miles.
Well,
I want my 53 miles every month.
I'm with you. I'll take that. Okay, so that's that on that. Now, I want to thank Chief Martinez. Thank you for the fire rescue the other night. It was spectacular. I was looking at the faces on even the adults. It was, yes, it was fantastic.
It was.
Really, truly was. And the Lake Clark Shores Police Department, thanks for all your diligence. And there's a lot of little kids running around. And I had all of my little grandchildren here, and I'm just walking around watching all the other kids, and I'm like, oh boy, there's a lot of children here. So everybody did a great job. And the utilities department, Joe, those guys are fantastic. They really are.
We got great
They
employees.
do good work. They're on it. Damon runs the crew very well. So, and I made it a point to go up to each and every one of them and thank
Thank
them that night, because they work
They
hard.
worked very hard. Thank you.
Not to mention the town hall staff. You guys, the wheels would completely fall off without you guys.
You guys rocked it.
We know you keep the utility guys in line. So thank you for all your help there. And of course, Bob and Paul. Now, Bob and Paul, as everybody knows, were former council members and both served as mayors. Bob, many, many times. Their willingness to continue to donate their time and their talent to the town of Lake Clark Shores is a testimonial to really what they think about this town. So that's my hat's off to them.
Many hours they
And,
put in. So yes,
It was very good. The food is always good. Town council, you guys are up next.
Mhm.
It's been a pleasure this year. We have a lot of work to do next year. There will be a lot of things coming our way, right, Joe? And I know everybody here is dedicated to moving the town forward, regardless of some of the concerns that you hear out there on a regular basis. We're moving forward, and things are going to get better. They're always going to get better. Tell everybody, be happy, think positive, and we'll go places and we'll get things done. We have to protect home rule. I can't even get to my third top thing because home rule is a big deal. It's a big issue for a little place like us that are trying to do things. And just the continued support of what we need here in Lake Clark Shores to move everything forward, which is going to depend on home rule. Because even for a small town, if they're taking dollars away from us, it's going to make it harder for us to function. And at the end of the day, it affects us, the residents. And we're trying to do a lot of stuff with a little bit of money. Everybody sees the budget. It's a $5 million budget. It's not a lot of money, and there's a lot to do. So kudos to you guys. Thank you for getting out there. I see everybody building relationships and getting out into the community. The broader community is where the relationships need to be built. And I see everybody doing it. So thank you. Mr. Lobello, you don't escape me tonight.
okay.
I'm in a good mood. We have number 12 grandchild.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
what is going on?
I'm over the under.
Yeah.
So let's talk. Let's get to know each other. I already lost. You know, that's some of that inside track of gambling, you know? So Joe, thank you for everything you do for the town too. I know a lot of times, you know, new management comes in and changes aren't easy, but it seems from what I see and hear that it's moving forward. It's working itself out. You know, managers all work differently. So
Thank you.
thank you very much and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
And I just want the best for the town of Lake Clark Shores. Okay. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah. Everybody be happy. Thank you. I'm done. I'm over the under.
If I could have elected to have you write a group closing for
Mm.
us.
You want to
touched on
second
many-
that?
I second that.
I third it.
But I also do want to personally thank all of you for, okay, so I went to 3 town events and I have to say, I think ours was the best, honestly.
We're not
So-
biased.
So well done. Friends came with me and also commented.
Thank you.
They were so impressed by everything that we had, all the activities for the kids and just the overall sense of community. I mean, Dana, you know, being climbed all over by children screaming for which color candy cane they wanted, which thank you so very much for appeasing my son. But you guys are wonderful, and you do so much for us, and it is noticed and appreciated immensely. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to everyone, and I'll see you in the new year.
Mayor.
Joe, how much vacation time have I accrued?
We'll have to go over those numbers later.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
I think it's less than that.
Yes, I will have to be back here for January 20th.
Yeah, yeah.
A month or two ago, when I walked into our meeting, I noticed that there was a plaque on the just inside the door there commemorating the building of this building. And I asked Joe about a plaque for the bridge, because that's a, pun not intended, high water mark for the town.
Mhm.
And Joe looked into it. He said it was about $1,000. I think it would be a nice way to commemorate the building of the bridge.
Mhm.
So if anybody would like to comment on that before I continue.
I'm happy to have a plaque commemorating our bridge.
Yeah.
I think it is a moment in time for us.
I'm not opposed, of course. Absolutely, it was a big item in the town, so let's recognize it.
And we'll send you drafts, and I don't think that's a conflict of sunshine, right? If I send them drafts of wording, because you're not.
As long as they don't
Reply all.
back on it.
Yeah, just call me. Just call me when you have comments. But
But would you,
'cause-
should we call you
yeah,
handsome or?
no, I'll send you, because you usually put the contract,
Right, I know.
all the engineers, and it's, so I'll send you a draft.
Okay. Chief, I would like to recognize Lenny, and please pass this along to him. When there was a fire on Westlake a few weeks back, I drove over to see if I could be helpful to the homeowner. And she said that she had lots of freezers full of food that needed to be taken care of. And a neighbor with a pickup truck backed up her truck in the middle of the yard. And the neighbor and I started loading the pickup truck with the frozen food so she could take it to a freezer that she had. And without missing a beat, Lenny jumped right on in and was going into the, this dark garage. There's no lights or anything, and just carrying loads and loads. We filled up more than one flatbed of the pickup truck with frozen food. And I just, there were a number of uniforms milling around, but I really applaud Lenny for, that's, I love community policing. I love Manic handing out vests to people as they're walking along. I love the house check. I love, I love the small town touch that your police force brings to Lake Clark Shores. And Lenny went way beyond community policing. He was just a good guy and a good neighbor. So I would applaud him. And I just want to wish all two of you and you a Merry Christmas as we celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Okay. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Thank you for participating. I know I had heard that there was a council member on scene. I didn't know who it was, but appreciate the diving in as well with the law enforcement. I have a request to make, and before we adjourn the meeting, and I'm hoping that I can muscle some support. As you all know, that my involvement with the legislative actions and with the Florida League of Cities and the committees. I also just been recently tasked with the FAST committee, and I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's a committee that goes to DC to lobby and meet with legislators, and the Florida League of Cities sponsors this. However, there is some cost to us. This is something we have not done in the past. So according to our town manager, he had asked that I need to ask the council for a motion for me to travel to DC to participate in this event, because it could help not only assist with the league's issues, but it could help us with grant and funding issues. And we also get the ability to meet with congressmen and women to make this happen. I have cost for that. If that's something that I can delve into. In addition to that, there's a congressional conference that builds up to the what they call the Federal Action Strike Team. That's what FAST means. I would like to participate in those events in order to go out there and lobby with the congressional, not only the congressional members, but there's also, you can meet with the committees and the funding people that are happening. So I don't know if this is something to desire, and the reason I'm asking now is, one, I just got tasked with the committee, but also two, if you become a member of the NLC, which we are not, and it's based on your population, so it's not as expensive as some of the bigger cities. It allows you to have a significantly reduced membership, fee for the event itself, like almost half price. So, and that happens prior to January 1. If that's something we don't want to do now, that's fine. I would hope that I can get the support, but obviously at a later date, it's going to cost more. So if you have any questions for me.
What are the costs?
For the Fast Fly-In, which is sponsored by the FLC, including registration, airfare, and the hotel, the accommodations, it's $1,800.
Josie would need a bump in per diem. $15 isn't going to get you dinner in DC.
Well, I don't, that's including the per diem for DC. I don't know if my numbers, I Googled it, so I've traveled before with the firefighters, so that's how we were able to obtain per diems. I don't know what the town uses for their.
We follow state statute, so we can't change this unless we pass our own ordinance to opt out of that ordinance, to opt out of the state statute. So we have to abide by the state statute.
I'm willing to absorb some of the cost,
Yeah,
because I believe.
that was humor, man.
I
I don't know
believe,
if Joe was smiling down there because I wasn't looking.
There's
but-
McDonald's up there.
listen, I believe in this town. I believe in that I could make a difference up there, with all the networking from the state and
That's one of the three.
that's one.
tasks, Correct?
Right. That's one, that's FLC, that's Florida League of Cities. The other two involve the National League of Cities. You don't have to be a member to attend it, but it's significantly more cost if you're not a member.
What are the registration costs for the Florida League of Cities fly-in?
But the fly-in's just it's $100 registration, and then the bigger costs are the hotel and airfare. That's where the $1,800 comes in. The National League of Cities, if you don't become a member, which you don't have to, but it's almost like twice the price for the registration of the conference. So that total cost, because there's a 2-part process, and I'm looking to do the shorter process because there's a 5-day thing, and I'm looking for the 3-day. You fly in one day, you get briefed the next day, and the following day you walk the hill from 8 to 5. And then the next day I fly home.
So you follow the league's initiatives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
So
also,
how, just
go ahead.
tell us how that will help us here in Lake Clark Shores.
Well, the league initiatives, but also too, you're able to,
No, I understand.
I'm looking also to go into, if we become a member of the League of National League, we become a member of a particular committee to go after our funding for water and sewer, parks, any
Right.
kind of infrastructure type. There's a lot of municipal bonds and stuff that are available now that are really, this is the time to go because there's billions of dollars. I've been going through seminars about the information of how to go after those bonds. I've also spoke with Mayor Alan Callback from Atlantis, who is of like size. And he's the vice chair of the committee, and he's been mentoring me, and I've been shadowing him, and he thinks that this is a valued benefit. If we get any grant out of this cost will more than pay for itself. So I don't know what your thoughts are, but I would hope.
Third.
Wait, which is the
You
net?
didn't give the
The
total.
NLC membership is a like not a requirement, but it would benefit beyond just this conference, and that's
About $1,000.
I spoke with Joe and it's about $1,000 and what a suggestion would be is to become for a year only and evaluate the benefits of the National League, the NLC's organization. And and after a year, we don't feel like we've got our money's worth, we don't have to renew it. But
Wasn't there?
And how much is
third
how much
time?
is the conference?
so then number 3 is the conference. It would roughly be about $2,800.
Include plus the 1,000?
The $1,000 is just a membership. That
Yeah.
is just to reduce the registration for the conference is $745. If you're not a member, it could go up to $1,300.
Mayor Keating, have you talked with our paid lobbyist on
Oh,
whether or
that's a
not
good
I
point.
it would be beneficial?
I
or
put a
if
call
this
in
is-
for him today and he answered me back and he was lobbying the Hill and he never returned the call. And I specifically texted him why I was doing this, but he never answered. So,
So my thoughts right now, because I'm not going to make a decision on this tonight, most likely.
okay,
Specifically not the NLC.
okay,
It's easier for me to stomach the Florida League of Cities and you participating in that capacity and the access that you would want to have. But I have mixed emotions and
Okay.
feelings on how the leagues operate. And the sort of pay to play mentality that they hold of being a membership
Mhm.
organization. I would like to have the opportunity to talk to our paid lobbyist because
Sure.
we always consult these people that are, the experts in their field, and he is, and we're paying him, and I'd like to know if he thinks it's beneficial. I do see the value in having you in the room. I think there's value in having us all in the room locally, and we don't do a great job at that. I think the first time we all sat in the room together outside of this dais was at the State of the County recently, which we should be doing more of. So my initial thoughts are I would like to get more information on really what this gives us access to. And for example, I would want to know who the meetings are being held with and at the congressional level specifically to make sure that there is a nonpartisan structure to who is arranging those meetings and what the asks are. But for the Florida League of Cities, it does make more sense to me to have you engage at that level. And I think that was the $1,800 cost.
yes.
I totally agree with President Pro Tem over here, that the Florida League probably has more value than the National League. And I want to applaud your initiative and your desire to gain more knowledge and contacts for us.
Absolutely.
And I think Taylor has a brilliant, excellent idea of checking with our lobbyists to see if it's a valuable use of your time.
No, like I said, I reached out to him. I texted him and I text him specifically why I was asking about traveling to DC under the NLC for this specific issue. And he said, I'm walking the halls. I'll get back with you. Obviously, we know what's going on in the halls. We got the property tax issue.
I tried to
going on.
connect with him today too.
And so he answered me.
Don't
but
take it personally.
I don't. I actually know our lobbyist from way back when working with the fire service. So I know that if he's not returning a call, he's busy doing what we pay him to do. So I have no issue with that. I have no issue with waiting. Just so you know, when I spoke with Alan, who's obviously the vice chair of the NLC, and he's also on the FAST committee. He also just put his thoughts out there. This is I'm okay with, and I appreciate the approval of the League of Cities if that's the will of the council. He said that because these other two, the NLC events are pre Florida League of Cities, it gives you an in with the congressional members. It gives you already some insight with the legislative age with the grant people before you go up there for the fast fly in. So that's what he had said that he believed the advantage of being a participant in that event. So if we want to wait, that's
When are these taking place?
the NLC is in March 17th, 18th. Actually, it's the 14th to the 18th, but the 17th, 18th are the two main event days. And the Florida League of Cities Fast Fly In is April 28th through the 29th. So
Are they transferable?
transferable what?
For example, if you skedaddle like Councilmember Maples
Oh.
in the middle of a term,
Is
Can
it
it be transferred to the
uh,
new mayor,
as far as
It doesn't have to be the mayor.
the new
Could be
council member,
anybody.
the new person, a
Any-
new
talking
person?
about anybody being explicit?
As the membership, is it transferred?
Oh, the membership, the NLC membership is for the,
It's for the town. The memberships for the.
Yeah, all of them are.
Yes,
So we could, if I wanted to pay
yes,
my own money and say, hey, I'm going with you,
yes,
I could do that.
yes,
In your name?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so that's,
Listen, before Joe got here, we paid for everything.
yeah, but that's different than her.
No, I understand.
Having one and us agreeing to have the town pay for it.
Oh, yeah, no,
And
it's a
then
town
if
thing.
for some reason she's no longer here,
Yeah, no,
is
it
it
would still,
just-
no, the town
it
would still
stays at
have
the
it.
town?
Yes.
with the town.
Now, in the
Yes.
town, the NLC membership, this is just specifically to this conference. There's so much more year round that it has. I'm still learning.
No,
I've reached out to them and they send me back information all day. I've been on the email and phone, just acquiring all the information, and my brain is gonna explode from all the information, and I'm still not done
Yeah.
doing my
There's a
homework.
lot of things here locally, though, that I think should be explored if you're willing to be in these rooms and have the time to be in these rooms.
Oh,
That are members, that are membership. I know you're doing so much already. But I would just want to have that last piece of information.
No, I don't, listen, I appreciate and respect both of everybody's opinion here, and I want to do due diligence with the town. I'm not trying to spend money that I don't think is of value to this town. I just think now that we're trying to move forward with possible safer roads, our septic to sewer system, any infrastructure that we want to do to the parks, use federal funds and grants and municipal bonds, that if you're not in the ear of the congressmen and women of bipartisanship, you're not gonna, it's like the sewer, you're gonna.
Yeah, but what prevents you, just so, because we're in the public
Right.
domain
Yes.
here, and I already know the answer, from working with our lobbyists and having those appointments and going to DC and meeting with the people that are
I'm-
actually going to be part of those.
So I have no, listen, I work well with Richard, so I have no problem with him. Every lobbyist has their way of getting in the doors, and so does League of Cities, and so the NLC. So
Yeah.
they're all they're synergistic, all working
Mhm.
together can get you into those things. I would love to have Richard be up there with us, with me, if
Yeah.
that's the will of the council.
I mean, just for clarification, and I'm sure you realize this too, and my sister is a lobbyist in
Right.
DC as well. You don't need to be a member of the NLC to get an appointment with your congressional representation. You don't even need to have a paid
No.
lobbyist
No,
necessarily.
I've been up there too, yeah. It's not, you
I
can't.
just don't want it to I don't want it to sound to the public record that it's 1 + 1 = 2. Like, you can only meet with these.
No,
people.
and they're, remember the NLC has committees that they are year round, like as you said, your sister
Mhm.
is a lobbyist. They're year round on their issues, the municipal bonds and transportation, like Alan has an airport issue. These committees meet with these people on a regular basis, and doesn't mean that I can't get in, or you can't get in, or your sister can't get in. It's just, you're more likely, you have a little ear of somebody, and if I don't like you, I may get in, but I may talk to your aide. So this is new, this process is new as far as the League of Cities, but it's not new as far as, it's very similar how the firefighters work, as far as getting into particular congressman offices that you want to get in. Not every congressman and woman is on the committee that you want to get for those particular issues. So there's hundreds of House and Senate representatives. Not all of them are going to be specific to what we're looking for. So I respect that you want to wait, and I'll wait to hear back I'll continue to reach out to Richard to see what his thoughts are, and where we can go from here.
The Florida League of Cities component, when does that is that, I know that wasn't the one that changed the pricing structure after January, correct?
No, I don't think, I don't think that, the only thing that would be considered is trying to get the hotel rooms, to block it. Once I get the block, you made the confirmation. If you made a confirmation, you can always back out of it. There's always a period of time, and it's not till April. So I don't believe there's any really time period on that, other than When I looked at the airfare and I look at it now, obviously the sooner you go, airfare is right now, it's only $300 for DC. I don't know what it's going to be like next month in April, February, March and April. So I'm basing on the expenses based on today's prices. So that, I don't know how much change in travel cost will be from now until then.
Okay, and those are all good points. I feel like I'm kind of hogging the conversation here.
No,
No, it's, I agree. We need more information
You've got
for
wisdom
sure.
for us.
And I mean, it might not be a bad thing to reserve a room. But I do agree, sometimes, the best government's the government closest to the people here. We've had Lois Frankel and her office out here, taking them for tours and done all sorts of stuff. This goes back 13, 15 years. We've been trying to do all this stuff and, we're a little postage stamp here. So sometimes staying local and looking for what we need here is not a bad idea. And, we all have regular jobs, and it's you luckily, fortunately, and I'm happy for this, that you have the time and you can do this and everything. Let's just explore our avenues here and see where we go. Joe, can you bring us more information and some more numbers? Tell us, where would you find this money in the budget?
It might be under travel and per diem. We have like 5,000 or 6,000.
Do you? Okay.
So
I
we only spent half.
Yeah, I hadn't checked that lately, and so
It's, of course, I could give you more information, write a memo for the next agenda, whatever you'd like.
yeah, that might be a good idea. Just just bring us
With
some
options.
numbers in front of us that we can chew on this for till the next meeting and
Okay.
go from there.
Okay.
Okay.
With that said, I want to wish everybody Merry Christmas. Thank the staff and all the people involved from utilities, fire service. It was an excellent showing of the welcoming of Santa. I had a great time, even though don't have any kids. I feel like a kid. I appreciate all the community environment. I love the community policing. I love the sense of community that we have at the town. And I hope in the future have some more events. Hopefully we look at some art shows. Definitely is up my neck of the woods. And that, everybody have a safe and happy holidays, and please join us for menorah lighting on Sunday.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, everybody.
And meeting adjourned.
Happy Hanukkah.
So moved.
Can't stuff all that candy somewhere.
Okay.
Have to put it in my pocket.
Merry Christmas.
You tried.
It would be wrong of you to